Because I got. Hey Josh, can you hear me? I see you're muted.
Hey,
Hey, how's it going?
that's good. How you doing?
Oh, great. Very excited to be working with you. So excited. I really hope we can make this happen.
Cool. Yeah, yeah.
Do you think?
Huh?
Do you think we can do this?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it all depends on, yeah. Well, you all, if you want to get, yeah, how much, yeah, if we can get a group going and a design and then, yeah, I mean, it should be okay. And it all depends on DDOT. I mean, the ones that are going to be, buying the trees. So, but, yeah, we could definitely get it started.
Okay, wow. Well, it sounds hopeful. Knock on wood. So I guess we should wait like a couple more minutes, like wait till 7:20 before we start, just because some people might come in.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Rachel, Char.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Sorry, I'm eating.
Yeah,
You're-
I'm also about to eat, so I'm going to be on mute.
Oh, great, great. Yeah, everybody feel free to just hop in, say anything anytime, right? I was at work in the building and the internet just was no good. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to do this outside. But whatever.
It's cold out. Stay warm.
I know. Well, right now I feel relatively warm, knock on wood. My phone's on 43. So I'm just hoping here, because I have a portable charger, but I think it ran out of gas. Hopefully it'll be okay. I would say you can go ahead and start, Josh.
Okay. You want me to talk a little bit about like the process and about or the history or
Whatever you think
okay.
is best. Yeah, I would say all of it. What do you guys think?
I would say everything. My current thought is just kind of understanding the history behind how we got here, what needs to happen next, and just kind of how we can get folks engaged.
Okay. Yeah, I think what was it like a year or two? I think we met on site a while ago to kind of I think there was interest in having a community garden, but we walked the site at the Trinidad Rec Center and there wasn't really any good place for a community garden, but there it was had some potential for doing a food forest, which a food forest is something like it's like it's like a like kind of a similar to a fruit orchard, but using planting all different all different kinds of fruiting berry perennials. Like you could have like strawberries and raspberries in the middle, and then fruit trees on top. So it's just kind of creating this whole ecosystem full of edible plants. And we've been working a lot with DDOT, Department of Transportation. They oversee urban forestry, so we've been working with urban forestry. Who got they got a USDA grant a little while ago to start building food forests around the city. So we built a couple. We built one at Edgewood at our communal farm there. We're in the process of planting a big one at Letter Gardens, and yeah, they said they're always looking for new places to plant some of these food forests. And what's nice about them is they hire this company called Forested, which is a permaculture like landscape design company that's from I think they're from Bowie, but they hired them to actually help not only design it and plant it, but also help maintain it. Um, and so at various different levels. I mean, you still want to have a community group that's going to be committed to maintaining this, but they can definitely, or hopefully, I don't want to speak for them, but like hopefully they can help maintain it as well. Um, so we did walk the site, and I think we came up with some kind of design. I'm trying to remember. I thought someone that was with us was going to kind of turn that into. I thought we walked the site. There was like a landscape architect or somebody with us that was supposed to create a design, kind of rough draft design. Because I mean, we can, it's going to be. Um, I mean, we could definitely. I mean, it's going to be something that's going to be tweaked a bunch, but I think. Yeah, so that was I don't know if that happened or what, I forget the guy's name. It was some guy that said he was going to work on that.
Was it
And then
Andy by chance?
maybe I can't remember.
Okay.
It was a landscape architect who was like we walked around with us when we were assessing, and he had said that he was going to create some kind of design. I mean, because we walked around. I have a rough draft of I have a basically a picture of the rec center with just like areas that would be good. Essentially we were looking at like the area behind, like in between, in the back of the rec center, in between like the walkway in between the football field and the rec center, and then
Okay.
the area along the park where the cars park around the Orange Street. And then some, in the front as well, but we may get some pushback in the front because I know there are some aesthetic concerns whenever you're doing something on the front of a rec center. But those were generally like the areas that we thought would be good for building some kind of food forest. Um, And then I thought, yeah, so basically like two things to kind of get ready. I did some preliminary, I went out, I asked like, if people permitted the area or if there was any future construction plans or anything like that for those areas. And I didn't get any feedback. So I think we're good to kind of like, at least, start the process. So I think that the next couple steps, because we want to get DPR approval first, and once we have approval from them, we can reach out to urban forestry and kind of see what their approval process is, and if they can I don't know, yeah, where they are, or if it's like if you have to wait for it or not, or if they're ready to roll with something. But the things that we were going to need for to make it possible for DC Parks and Rec approval is well, one, we need like some kind of committed group. It doesn't have to be like an official incorporated group, but just some kind of group that is committed to maintaining this food forest, which it's going to be a lot of watering basically in the summer for the first like couple years until all the plants kind of establish themselves, and then it's going to be like pruning and picking up fallen fruit and dealing with any kind of pest or disease issues or things like that. So it's definitely, yeah. So we want to kind of establish some kind
Does
of group. Yep.
does the site have like a hose and stuff? Like how did you like assess that? Or could we set up like a drip system, like soaker hose system, or is it going to be manual watering?
No, I don't know. I can't remember. I mean, I want to say most rec centers have outdoor wall spigots, so that could be
Okay.
something to kind of check around if we wanted to walk around the back area and the parking lot area just to see if there's like, it would be like a silver little box. Um,
Yeah.
and then like, yeah, if we have one of those, it might be good. I mean, you can get like a water key for a couple dollars at rec center. It might be good just to, or at, like a Home Depot or someplace, and you can just turn on and off just see if it works. But yeah, that would be a good thing to kind of assess to see if there is water or not. Because if you don't have direct access water, you're going to probably talking about like carrying buckets from inside a rec center, which is going to be a lot more work. But a lot of these things, they don't need like, yeah, you don't typically need like irrigation. I mean, you can set up irrigation, but a lot of this stuff, it's more like watering once a week or once a month, as opposed to like, like using drip irrigation to water something, annuals, like almost on like, every day or every other day. So, um,
Okay.
but it all depends on like, I mean, if we get approval and the group wants to like do some fundraising, I mean, they could fundraise for some irrigation, but that typically, urban forestry is just buying the plants. They're not going to buy irrigation equipment.
Okay.
Um,
For this, I guess for the sake of this, since this is something that would benefit a large portion of the community, the ANC can potentially fund. I can't guarantee that because we would have to take it up to a vote, make sure it's, publicly acceptable, and make sure we get permission. But an irrigation system or something along those lines might be something that we can potentially fund. So
cool.
that
Okay.
might be something that we can do.
Cool. That sounds great. So I think that, yeah, like I said, the next two steps is we just
Yeah.
want to get some kind of like rough design, or if that guy bailed on us and we don't
Mhm.
have an architect, I have like a map of basically just like a square box of where we would, plant. And then so if we can't get that rough design, I could just go ahead and submit this map, and we submitted to our capital projects team. I usually treat it just like a tree planting. So we do a lot of tree plantings like on all of our rec centers, like Casey Trees and other organizations. And so a lot of this is just kind of like checking in with the our capital projects team and making sure that, yeah, just double checking that we have some landscape architects and people who can double check the areas, if it's good, if it doesn't have future construction, if there's if there's friends of groups, or anything, I'll reach out to them as well. But we want to kind of just work on getting permission from DPR, and once they have given us permission, or they might ask us to do, maybe they might ask us to do some community meetings or things like that, just to kind of get double check community support, which we could probably just do through your usual ANC meetings. But once they give us a thumbs up, we can start building some community support, and then we can start reaching out to uh, uh, urban forestry, at that point, letting them know that DPR approves, we have some community support, and then it's up to them on their process, which, I mean, sometimes it can go be quick, and it can be quick, and sometimes, I mean, depending on where they are in their funding cycle, they may have to wait till to the next fiscal year, but, and then they can help. Well, I mean, if they have funding for Forested, the permaculture design company, that they can come out and help design it. Or if not, we can, we could do it like a community design meeting as well, or we could do both. I mean, it'd be great to have them kind of start off with a design, and then that's what we did with other sites, and then we'd have a community meeting where the people give us feedback on those designs, and like what, fruit trees and berry bushes and stuff that people are interested in. But yeah, I think the first two steps is just kind of like, yeah, just getting together, getting some kind of group together. It doesn't have to be a formal group, but just like saying, we got like a group of like, 5 or 10 people that are committed to the maintenance of it. You can, of this, and so, once we have a maintenance group dedicated to maintenance, and then, yeah, if we want to reach out to Andy, if that was his name, and see if he ever did make a design. If not, I could just turn in something super rough, just to get an idea of if, we don't want to do too much work until like DPR kind of, gives us the approval.
Yeah, we can definitely, Andy wanted to be here, but he just couldn't make it, but he really did want to, of course, wanted to be here. He loves this. So, yeah, I hope we can get 5 or 10 people. People are so busy, but I'm gonna assume, go ahead, Shar. Yeah.
I'll volunteer. I'll be a volunteer to help take care. So you've got one person.
Yay. Thank you so much, Rachel. Yeah, I will be one. So that's 2. I'm sure Andy will. That's 3.
And I will
I don't know
too.
if you, yay.
I will too. And I think this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. I think it's needed in the community right now. And like, I'm sure we can probably get some kids that go to Trinidad Rectors, actually, because the KIPP school does a
Yeah.
lot of work with Trinidad Rec. So maybe there's some students that we could potentially engage to kind of get out there. And I know a few folks that would be interested that live in Ivy City to kind of help get kind of the kid portion going. So I think we would be in a good position to kind of go forth. I think we have a solid 5 to 10.
Okay.
That's
Well,
a great idea. Yeah.
let me know if Andy has that design. No worries if he doesn't. And I'll connect with Capital Projects team. Yeah, like, and see if we can start getting their, going through their approval process.
Now, can I ask a series of questions? So, um, is there any paperwork that you need us to fill out, or will you take kind of care of that paperwork portion of all of this?
Not so much. I mean, if you want to become an official partnership group, like a Friends of, or a Park Partner or something like that, I mean, that's a whole process. Um, but I don't know if that's going to be needed or not. I don't know if, yeah. So I can talk to the partnership team just to see, like, typically when we do tree plantings, we don't need an official partner. We just need some kind of community group that's like dedicated to like maintaining those trees. So we could even like do it under like the ANC, and just say you're like a subgroup of the ANC or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd say that we start out with that, and then if they want us to do an official partnership agreement, I can connect you with them, and it'll probably be some like park partner thing, which is pretty. There's not much to it, so it's yeah, it's not too. It's a pretty simple partnership agreement. But yeah, I'll see if we need that or not. But and then other than that, the tree planting. Like I said, I treat it like a tree planting, so usually it's not, we don't need like a right of entry from DGS or anything like that. Yeah, that should be pretty minimal amount of paperwork as well.
Okay. So this can happen like in the next month-ish.
No, it'll probably be a while. I mean, it may take a little bit to get approval from DPR, and then I don't know about, or I haven't talked to the urban forestry folks in a bit about it. It all depends on if they have funding and where they are in the fiscal year. And it depends on the timing as well. I mean,
The ground
ideally,
is frozen.
ideally a lot like planting in the fall or spring is usually best. I don't know if they're going to be up for a winter planting. So that, I think really, we could shoot for early spring planting if we can get everything approved in time. Um,
Okay. No, that I mean that sounds great to me.
Yeah, same. Is the idea of this, I know like at the other locations you mentioned, they do like produce giveaways. Is the idea of the food forest though that like people can just come at will and pick stuff, or does it like make sense to do like organized food giveaways once we have mature fruit?
we've been mainly just treating it as like a public, resource that people can just come and access as needed. I mean, it's good to put some signage about, you know, like about like not pick when to pick things, when to and not picking everything and things like
Okay.
that.
Sorry. Hey,
Yeah.
Josh, could you talk a little bit louder? I'm a little worried that the volume's not going to be good enough. Hey,
Okay. No, we don't. You're probably not going to make. I mean, depending on how much we plan. I mean, I wouldn't anticipate doing like any kind of giveaways. I think it's more about like people are picking it as they see it. You want to put lots of signage, explaining when things are ripe and don't pick everything. Just like everyone take a little bit kind of thing. And a lot of the like especially fruit trees, it can take 3 to 5 years before they really get mature enough to start producing.
Yeah.
And depending on what, I mean, I can share with you a lot of information on like low maintenance, medium maintenance, and high maintenance fruit trees. So depending on how what kind of trees you want, it will also depend on how much maintenance is needed. Like for apples, you got to do a lot to get a decent apple production. You got to do a lot of maintenance.
Yeah.
Opposed to like
Yeah.
figs or pawpaws or persimmons or service berries, but you don't have to do that much.
Okay.
Well, I guess just from the standpoint of like I guess you'll let us know like what will be kind of after you get everything submitted, you'll just let us know kind of how we need to kind of interact so that we get everything moving by spring.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first step is just check with Andy if he's got a design and just let me know if he does or not. And then once we know that, I'll submit something to Capital Projects to try to get some, at least DPR approval. So I'll push. I'll do that. I'll follow up with them, and once they give the thumbs up or if they have any feedback or anything, we can reach out to urban forestry once we and then that's really like that's on them. Like they're a separate agency, so we're at the whim of a lot. Like I said, sometimes like they got a bunch of money and they're ready to plant right quickly, and other times we have to wait like a year or two before they're ready to kind of so it really just depends on where they're at. But I can definitely get the approval pushed through TPR as soon as possible.
Okay. Okay. Now let's say so if Andy doesn't have a design, is there if we don't have like a mock SketchUp, would you be able to kind of from what it sounds like you'll be able to kind of push forward with the design that you think works?
Yeah, I'll send out just, I mean, right, I have just a map of like just boxes of where we would want to plant. And really, I mean, we just need to make sure they're okay with us planting in these spots. And if they are, we can, we can turn to urban forestry and see if they can design it out for us. And we can definitely have some kind of community meeting as well, once with that.
On a quick question, do you know if you'll be able to reach out to Andy in the next like weekish just to see if he is able to provide the design? And if not, maybe we just go forth with what Josh has just so we can get the ball rolling.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll email and CC you, I'll email Andy tonight. I know he'll be really excited about however we do it, yeah.
That
It
sounds good
sounds,
to me.
yeah, it sounds relatively not that hard. I'm pleasantly surprised. It sounds like might not be that difficult.
No, I try to treat it as a tree planting, which is usually is minimum amount. I mean, if there is like if there's people using those spaces, we'll need to like reach out to them and talk to them, or if it's yeah, basically if we're taking up a space that's used by the community, we'll need to have community meetings. But both of those spots look like they weren't being used for anything. So, yeah, hopefully, I mean, let's just try to keep it like, well, just like a typical tree planting in spots that aren't being used. And then if we get any pushback, yeah, we may have to have some community meetings.
Yeah, the community totally needs to be on board. Like how much land, how much space would it take up from the community?
Well, we were using, yeah, like it's like the side of the rec center by the parking lot. We would use a bunch of that space. And then we would plant on both sides of the walkway in the back. I think are the two areas that we identified. Um, so it's not going to be really taking anything from the community because it looked like none of those spaces were being used. But I mean that's what I'll double check. I'll make sure no one's using those spaces and there's no plans for those spaces. Like if we were going to plant in like a park, in the middle of a park, that could be taking something away from the community. So we would want to have tons of community meetings and get buy-in. But and then once we get approval, we want to have lots of community meetings just to bring people on board and like get the word out. But yeah, if it's like if it's not taking anything away and it's not going to hinder anything, and if it's not going to be intrusive in any way, then like I said, we'll just treat it as a tree planting, see if we can push it through, and then like yeah, if there's any pushback, we'll do community meetings.
Does it usually take before it's harvestable? Like, is it immediate because we plant mature trees, or will it take a couple years?
Well, the berries, usually you can start harvesting, very close to when you plant. Like when we planted a bunch of berries in the spring and we were like harvesting some of them by the end of the summer. But, the fruit trees, yeah, they can take 3 to 5 years depending on your plant, even longer too. Like if you're planting like, large nut trees and things like that, that's going to take a long time to mature. But yeah, most sites, you start getting something within a couple years and it starts production starts getting really nice a couple more years after that. So usually like 3 to 5 years.
And like, what kind of plants do people usually put in a food forest? Like only certain kinds, right? Only certain kinds. And are there any vegetables or just really fruit?
Well, I mean, I definitely recommend low maintenance fruit trees, in food forests, like, so that could be anything from like figs, pawpaws, persimmons, hazelnuts, pomegranate. There's a cold hardy pomegranates. Things that don't take too much, or like or like sweet cherries and pears and plums. That if you want to do a little bit more maintenance, and then there's like high maintenance stuff like peaches and apples and things that you really need to put a lot of work in. So I try to steer people away from that unless they're really up for it. And then, all the understory, like berries and things and like, kiwis and all these different things. And there are some, they did plant some vegetables in our letter food forest. They planted sea kale, which is like a perennial kale plant, but I don't know. I mean, a lot of that stuff you want to be a little bit careful with, like the stuff that grows on the ground, because you're not. I mean, we built some fencing around that's because you don't, you may have dogs, urinate on it and things like that. So that's why, like, yeah, I try to stay away from the stuff that's like on the ground, and try to stay with things that like berries and fruit trees. You're usually pretty safe on those.
Okay, thanks. Does anybody, do we have any other questions? We don't want to keep you here forever. You gotta go.
I
Uh,
didn't have any. I'm just excited.
Me too. I mean, I think it's gonna be the best thing that the committee can do, like has ever. That's my opinion though. I feel like it's the best thing we could ever do, kind of like thing. And I would like to check out Joe Cole too, but like maybe that would be taking on too much. We'll do one thing first and then the other. But I would like to have an exploratory walk on Joe Cole Rec, just to see if it's fitting for anything. Do you guys want to do that like soon, or like, do you want to wait till after we get going with the Trinidad?
I could probably do it like January is usually a good month to do those kind of things if we want to try to do something.
Okay,
Like,
that sounds great. So I'll connect you and all of us here, and Andy and Anthony from Joco Rec Center. Do you know Anthony?
no, he's DPR
Okay,
staff.
pardon? Sorry.
He's DPR staff.
Yeah, he's like,
Okay.
I think he's basically in charge of Joco Rec.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great to have him.
Yeah, pardon? I'm sorry, but I'm overly excited. What did you say?
Oh, I said that'd be great to have him on the walk. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll connect all of us here. And then maybe we can arrange a time with Anthony for January. Yeah. Well, this has been totally amazing. Yes. Thank you so much. So appreciate you, Josh. And thanks everybody. You guys are the best, Rachel and Char. So and Andy. So let's I'll start an email group with all of us here, okay? And add Andy, and then we can go from there. Does that sound good? Is there anything I'm forgetting or whatever?
Just asking Andy for plans if he has them, rough plans.
Oh yeah, I won't forget that. No worries. Yeah, I'll do it with all of us on the thread. Okay. All right. Well. Oh, go ahead.
I just said, cool, sounds good.
All right. So I'll connect us, and we'll be here in touch. Thank you so much, everybody. Josh, thank you so much.
No
Yeah.
problem. Yeah, take care.
All right.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks so much, Josh. I'm
care.
excited.
Take care, everybody. Good night.
All right, have a good one.
Bye.